informed me of that phrase. Yeah. And judgment on your writing process, and that's come back around.
Yeah. What's been hard to love?
Well, that was nice. So
that was great.
Letting that go.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, yeah. So when I was walking down the hallway to the bathroom, I was like, gosh, we've already gone so deep, and I know we were aiming for the second half to be deeper, because that'll be just for paid subscribers. And so I was like, oh gosh, okay. And I was kind of like readying myself. I was like, okay, we're gonna go deeper. So I want to speed up the time frame to we already kind of sped it up to modern, but speeding it up to, okay, so now you've moved back to Missouri.
Yeah.
You're back in Missouri.
Yeah.
We're living in this house that's it's your family's house. You're landladying it.
Yeah.
We're living in conscious community here with 2 other roommates. And it's kind of a wacky place.
Yes.
And will you open up?
Yeah.
I want to share about stuff about our home and what we do here, and what you offer to people, like through your workshops. Yeah, so... and I might share a little bit about my experiences in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love that.
It's a crazy place.
It is. Yeah, so one of my dreams that came alive while I was exploring sacred sexuality, and while I was exploring play parties.
Okay, what's a play party?
Okay, a play party is...
Do you remember that one time that me and you were... Oh, shit. Damn. Okay,
cut that part out.
We need to cut it out. That me and one of our roommates were like, we want to have a play party, and then you were like, okay, well, all of these things, and we were like, oh, we didn't mean, we didn't, hang on. And we were like, gosh, we need to define play party, what that means, because even that was I lived here less than a month, and we were already like, oh, okay, hang on, we need to have a common definition for that, what that means.
Yeah.
So now I'm hip to what that has come to mean for you, and I'm using it in the same way, and using just more like party to refer to.
Yeah.
Not a play party. Right. Will you please define what a play party is?
What a play party is, yeah. A play party, when I use it, is a facilitated, intentional orgy.
Yeah.
Yes. And I do remember, just sending a whole bunch of have we thought about this? Have we thought about this? Have we thought about that? Because, for me, an intentional and safe container for a play party is essential, is paramount. And I've been in many safe and intentional play parties, and it's one of my play parties have been another avenue for me to know myself, to experience freedom, unconditional love, and ecstatic states of oneness with all, and God and Goddess consciousness.
I want to add some nuance and some context.
Yeah.
Especially for people to whom these ideas are very, well, these experiences are very foreign.
Yeah.
So one, there are infinite ways that a play party can look, including that there doesn't even need to be any sexual activity necessarily.
Yeah.
That in essence, it's simply a safe space for there to be authentic and open sexual activity. And it's not some requirement. It's not, it's right. So I wanted to add that clarity to like, yes, there's the potential for an orgy, and there's potential for a lot of other things.
Right. Yeah.
And two, to speak to, to add on to what you're speaking to as far as the importance of intentionality and a container. So a container that's going to be probably foreign language to a lot of people in this context, right? What do we mean by that? We mean that someone or multiple people are facilitating. So are not necessarily leading per se, but providing guidelines for how to have a safe, supportive space for the group, for those in attendance, and that there are parameters that everyone is expected to adhere to, and those parameters are designed to be as non-restrictive as possible while still keeping everyone safe, so respecting everyone's autonomy. And I know for me, so one of the doors I alluded to earlier, right, that kept tugging, that, that my subconscious kept, a door in my subconscious that it was almost like I was hearing a knock on the other side of it. It was like, come look what's here. Was that, I mean, for years was group sex, was experiencing more open relationship dynamics in my intimate relationships, or intimate relationship, like what I had, what I only had experience with for years, and what I still mostly have experience with, was and is monogamy. And I had this repetitive knocking for years, including in increasingly good relationships, of like just wanting to know what that was like, to explore in those ways. And in my mind, I didn't really have any grounded, I didn't have any grounded data to fantasize about, right? So, and I'm not even meaning fantasy in like a sexual context, but just in this imagining of what was behind the door. What is this thing that keeps tugging? And the extent to which I could imagine it was that it was going to be really organic and in flow and hot and easy in a sense, right? Like, certainly not that it was going to require planning and talking and communicating and and all of these things that, like, when actually consciously going into the space, okay, so this isn't like everyone's drunk or high or on whatever, and it just happens, and then the next day you're probably trying to forget about it because because there wasn't the intentionality. And so then if we were to actually think about it, we'd actually have to deal with the consequences, right? So I'm imagining that that's a fairly common experience for people who have had experiences with group sex. And in the context of conscious sexuality, right? It's much more nuanced than that. Much more complicated. In so that everyone can feel content with themselves at the end of the day, right? Like we can all go to sleep feeling. I mean, something that I like to say is I'm the only one who has to sleep with myself every night for the rest of my life. I want to be able to sleep as well as I can, you know, and having the kind of intentionality that you do around sexual experimentation, right? Like that is, I think, what allows us to not end up in regret.
Yeah. And what I hear and what I'm reflecting on in your share is, I don't want in group sexual experiences to perpetuate that the unconscious and kind of like harmful to myself sex that was my awakening, like in my 30s when I was in San Francisco, and like that unconscious sex can still be brought into group sex, and then we're all still unaware, not communicating, not really in our pleasure, and not sober. And for me, I know that I only started feeling comfortable in group sex when it was conscious, when boundaries were communicated, when it was held immaculately, when I
held meaning
like facilitated, like with someone in charge, giving us the rules, the permission, and the even the practice of how about everybody in this space right now practice saying what you're a yes to and what you're a no to. A practitioner, a facilitator, holding a space and leading us in a meditation to drop into our bodies and feel what's alive there, the nervousness, the fantasizing, the what I'm afraid of, the expectations, and bringing all of that from the body, from the subconscious into the conscious, so that we can know ourselves, so that I can communicate that, and navigate a erotic experience with now multiple people, knowing what my true desires are, knowing where I need to support myself,
knowing what aspects to be sensitive to in other people.
Hearing other people share, and knowing how to navigate intimacy with each other and in a group.
Can we talk a little about lips giving?
Sure.
Just because, I have a few experiences coming to mind as we're talking about this. So lips giving is the, I guess, the tamest per se. So this is an event that you
lips giving is
how many times have you hosted it?
Oh, that was the first time.
That was the first time? Okay. I'm so
that
honored.
was the first time. Yes, the first time. Yes, Lipsgiving was a kissing party that I hosted here at the house. And it was a clothing on intimacy party with, we had a kissing menu. I was so excited about the kissing menu. We brought, Thanksgiving leftovers, and then had a kissing menu, and then dropped in as a group with those exercises that I was speaking to, that I see in good play party spaces.
So we started with a sharing circle that you opened, and you invited everyone to voice any fears, nervousness, any desires, whatever was alive for us.
Boundaries.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
And then we practiced yeses and nos.
Yeah. And then I also demonstrated how to start a scene with someone, or how to start how to request a kiss, and demonstrated something called the RBDSM talk, which is a great way of just remembering like all the information that you would want someone to know about you, and you would want to know about them, in order to kiss each other, or be intimate with each other. But at Lipsgiving, it was just kissing, and be fully present and feel fully safe. Yeah.
For it to be authentic. What does, let's see, what does it stand for? What's the acronym?
R is relationship agreements.
Yes. Okay, so like if you're dating someone, what your relationship status is, basically, right? It's like, what's your relationship status? What are the nuances of that? What agreements are you in with other people?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And then B is boundaries.
B is boundaries.
R.
D is desires.
Desires.
R, B, D, S. S is sexual health. Yeah. And then M is meaning. What does this mean to
like
you?
Your why.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah. Which is pretty vulnerable. Yeah.
And sexual health being any STDs, STIs, last time you got checked.
Yes.
Etc.
Yeah. Since kissing is exchanging fluids. Yeah. And
then the yeses and nos practice was super interesting, and especially because, I mean, throughout all of your events and practices, but especially in those moments, I found it really interesting to be, you're always encouraging us to be with the somatic experience. And in that experience, so in that practice, you had us split up into smaller groups, and we were taking turns asking one of the people in our group. So we were in groups of 3 and 4, and the guidance was to ask, take turns asking one person, may I do this? May I do this? May I do this? And it could be like the most outrageous things. It didn't really matter what we asked, but the point was that the person being asked was either to say yes every time in one turn, and then or no, like on the second turn, or whatever order you did it in, to say no over and over, no matter what. And in that, we got to practice the experience of what is it like to say yes to something that I do want, right? What is it like to say yes to something that I don't really want? What is it like to say no to something that I actually do want? And what is it like to say no to something that I don't want? And to feel all those different things in our body, and it just in a place that didn't have any consequences, right? Because we were just practicing, we were just playing. It was a great way to experience somatically what does that feel like, right? Like that authenticity or inauthenticity, so that we could then bring that into the actual lips-giving play, with more awareness and confidence, to be able to be authentic. About our yeses and our nos.
So that, I love that exercise. I love being able to feel like the crunchiness of saying no when I really mean a yes. Like what my body does when that happens. Like how I feel my energy kind of drop, and like my shoulders kind of droop when I'm when I'm really a yes, but I'm saying no, and it feels out of alignment and unauthentic. And the what I feel when I'm saying yes and I'm really a no, and how that like I feel like a coldness like over my heart, like I feel like a rock in my stomach. And to me, it's, those things can change. And so that practice is a really good calibration on like, where am I right now? Where are my sensations when I know that I'm like, where the practice is really bringing light to when I'm being inauthentic, and how my body is giving me those cues. You know, and how when I say yes and it's a yes, it's a true yes, like how my chest opens, how I smile, like, how I get excited and butterflies, and how when I say no and it's a no, how empowered I feel, how like solid,
resolute.
Yeah. And I think also with that practice, there's a lot of like, even with just going up to someone and asking for a kiss is vulnerable.
There's the possibility of rejection.
Yeah. And I think also that practice helps us with receiving someone's no. Right? And also when you're in the experience yourself, feeling when your no is, or like when your yes is inauthentic, and how I don't want anyone to feel that way. I only want to be kissing someone who is when they're in their yes, and they're lit up and they're open. And how that is more important to me than like the rejection that I might feel that you don't want to kiss me.
It actually becomes like an ecstatic experience to hear someone else's no, because you're like, great, like thank you for being honest with me.
Yes,
right,
yes.
Because of course, right,
Thank
exactly.
you for your no is something I say often. Yeah,
because with that new level of awareness, of course, I don't want to be, for example, kissing someone if they're a no.
Right? That kiss is not going to be that great.
No, right. No matter like how much I think I want to, as soon as that person expresses no, there can be a lot of layers that come up in between that and getting to kind of the bottom of it. And at the bottom of it is this like relief of, oh, well, I guess I didn't, I mean, for me, the way I think about it is, well, I didn't really, this fantasy I had in my head was of us mutually wanting to do the thing. Right. If that's not true, then it's almost like I don't want to kiss you either. Right. Like I actually don't want to anymore, knowing where you're at.
Yeah.
And that can apply to, a whole, infinite things, right? Like
things.
What, sexual or not.
Right. Hanging out with someone who doesn't really want to be hanging out. It's like, oh, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel good. It's draining. It's draining. Yeah. Being authentic with our yeses and nos is a life-altering practice. Yeah.
So lips giving and orgies.
So this house. Yes. Yeah.
It's a nude friendly house.
It's a nude friendly house. It's a sex positive house.
So what does that mean?
Yeah.
Sex positive house.
Sex positive house to me means that sexual activity is welcomed, celebrated, and not judged. We encourage loud orgasms. That's one of my favorite house rules. And we also have common areas where sexuality is welcome, which is also one of my favorite offerings.
Which means sometimes you get back from the airport and CaraLilly and I don't know,
her partner
are fucking on the couch, and then you're just like, hey, I'm gonna go to my room now. Not that I have to, right? But
yes, right, yeah. And for me, the the intentionality and the purpose and having these, you know, kind of, I don't know if the word is like extremely free and liberating kind of like tenets of this house, or like values of this house are to meet not only our authenticity, but to also meet our edges, to also meet the places in us where we carry shame. And I think it's also an invitation in community to share vulnerably the human experience. And yeah. I know for me, you know, having loud orgasms has barely ever been welcomed in any place I'm having sex. And that with the permission of like living in a house with multiple people, and that at any time, I can...
Except during our quiet hours.
Right. Right. Not after 11.
She said begrudgingly.
Yeah. I'm a night owl.
It used to be 12 to 8, but everyone else in the house requested we change it to 11 to 7.
Yes. I just really like those midnight loud orgasms.
Specifically at midnight.
Yes. Let's just end the day on a high, loud note.
Yes. It's true though. I mean, this is the first place I've lived where I have felt the first place that I've lived, let me see. So I've lived in one other place. Okay, this is the first place I've lived not by myself.
Yeah.
And even in places that I've lived by myself, I was still like, you know, I was in an apartment and there were like people next door. Right. I was in a townhouse and there were people next door, and I was still kind of this like, you know, self-conscious, you know, sense of I need to keep this down. And so I love that permission. And I'm not even a person who always like has a loud orgasm or feels like when it's not organic, I don't feel the need to like push it. And I still love that I can, right? I love that the permission is there.
Yes.
And I want to share some of like what I've discovered about myself in the context of living in a place where sexuality is open in public spaces, is allowed in public spaces. So I also like love the reflection, like love having the experience. And it's what I've learned about myself that I find delicious, like, is that I actually really appreciate like privacy, like around my sexual experiences. And I appreciate like, so in the context of if I'm around other people that are having sex, like I generally want to watch, like my voyeur comes out. So, but that doesn't like, which is something that would be, could be facilitated at a play party, right? There's a participatory element, right? That's not really organic in the context of like, oh, you just walk into someone in the house, right? It's like they're already having their experience. Right. Sandwich, spreading the mayo on your bread, and you hear some noises behind you. Right. And then Rose goes back to her room. Yeah. And I mean, it's still like a delicious experience to hold of like, I love that they're in that space, and I don't want to be in the shared space. Yeah. And there's been a really interesting, I've been really enjoying like refining my understanding, my perspective, my opinion on sex, on sex positivity. And it's actually interesting because it feels like it's almost echoing in some ways like my spiritual roots, which are in Catholicism, where it almost has me like appreciating, you know, I have very little like explicit education about sex in a spiritual context or not in a spiritual context, but the sense that I got was this is something that is very private, right? And so we don't talk about it.
Right.
And while I think that there are atrocities, like that is atrocious in many ways, unfortunately, because we, like you, I was raised with, you know, no information on how to actually enjoy one of the most like ecstatic parts of the human experience.
Right.
Now I find myself almost circling back to it in a new way where it's like, okay, I feel like I can actually appreciate in a real way more than ever the sacredness of having a very like small private container around my sex life. After having gone through experiences that were very open and wild and group sex and all, you know, so much openness and just like everything splayed out, right? And now I'm like, okay, like, that's like, that was awesome. And now there's something like, it's even more delicious now to like, it's now that I have that contrast, I'm really able to find this deliciousness in almost the sense of like secrecy is not the right word, but it almost is like, it's this like sense of like, this is just you and me. Like that's how I feel with my current partner, my almost but not quite boyfriend. And if he ever listens to this, he'll laugh when he hears me say that, because that's what we're calling it. He recently said, he was like, well, maybe when we live in the same state, we can cross that last hurdle. I was like, that's good, boo. You're the man. I'll let you. I trust you in your timing. And there is something like, whereas before when I was in that like tiny container, right? It felt stifling. It felt containing, restrictive at times. And there was that knocking, right? Of like, what is it like if I open this container and broaden this container? And I'm like, okay, that's what it's like. Cool. That's there. And now like the tiny container feels special. It feels special. It feels even more sacred. And I'm like, okay, I feel like I can understand a little more now why Christianity and some other religions have such, you know, what can seem like restrictive measures around sex, and yet at the same time call it sacred. And in the past, that always seemed like this paradox. That I was like, wait, if it's so like sacred and special, why can't we talk about it? And why is it like almost hidden? And I still think that there are so many gaps and anyway, things left unsaid that would be better said, and yada, yada, yada. And it's been really nice for me through my journey to feel like I can resolve that paradox now and be like, oh, like I get how that privacy is also special. That small container is also special and sacred. Not more or less than the bigger container, just in its own way.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like these spaces are so important, and why I feel honored to offer spaces like this, so that we can explore. And that's why I say, like, know ourselves, right? And do it in an intentional way, do it in a sacred way, do it in as safe as possible way.
In a way, I mean, like the people that regularly are in this house, right? That are like regularly at events that happen here. I mean, there's like a regular group of people who love each other, who care about each other, right?
Yeah.
Who are happy to have ongoing relationships.
Yeah.
And I don't think that can probably happen in the context of the same like behaviors that go on without that communication,
right?
Without that intentionality,
right? Yeah. Yeah. I think I think what I really love about having the sex in common spaces in this house, and what it's brought up between all of us that live here, is like very special to me, because there is another reality where it's like we're just having sex, and we don't care about like what it's bringing up for anybody else, right? But that's not how we do things here. Like we share, we share what it's brought up and what we're now learning from it and what we're taking away, and that is like super special to me. Like, yes, there's the exploration, and there's the freedom, and there's the the knowing yourself, and then there's the community aspect of can I be my authentic self, even in this moment when something might be crunchy, when it's actually hard to celebrate sexuality in the house, right? Can I still be loved here? Can I still be welcome here? When hearing loud orgasms brings up shame, can I voice that and still be loved? Can I voice that and still belong? And that's why I think this
when
type of
hearing
space,
loud orgasms turns you on,
right? Right? Yeah, totally. Can I share that? Can I share that? Yeah, and still be loved and still belong. And yeah, the type of people that are in this house and around this house and are invited to things like this are the type of people who can have that communication, and can hold that vulnerable space for themselves and other.
And we're all people who are seeking, right? We're the people with the flashlights and the lanterns, right, that are pushing the edge. What can I find here?
Yeah.
The trailblazers.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And sexuality and sacred sexuality is one path. Yeah. And
an event that you do very regularly, that is related but is not explicitly sexual, is Sacred Rage. And I would love for you to talk some about that, and then about Star.
Yeah. Something I do often is called Sacred Rage, and it is a 3-hour workshop, where all of our emotions are welcome, and we do breath work, we do movement, we do vulnerable sharing, we do sounding, to allow our emotions to flow in a group container. And despite its title, it's not just rage that's welcome. It's bliss. It's grief. It's
I was laughing maniacally during,
Yeah?
during one sacred rage. And then I got to go, like, there was, I don't know if it ever got to the point of a somatic contraction, but there was a brief conceptual contraction of, is this okay? And then I like laughed through that.
Yes.
And I was just like, fuck everyone. Like, I'm having a great time.
Yes.
Like, there's someone over here that's like screaming, and there are people over here that are sobbing, and there are people over there, and I'm like, they may be dead. Like, I don't know, but I'm having a great time.
Yes. And
Being a hyena in this corner.
Yes. And that's the space of like all of you is welcome. All of your expression is welcome. And I love that space, because I feel the world does not give us that. The world doesn't give us that. And it's a beautiful practice, to bring all of that and leave it here, leave it in the container, and to also, feel the multitude of emotions that are in your body, and maybe even move the needle a little bit in regular life, where you like, where are you holding back? Like, where can you express a little more? Like, where can you be a little more authentic in the moment?
That, and so coming to it with a psychology background, coaching, counseling, I find it to be just such an incredibly potent space for releasing trauma that has been somatically held and repressed. And in a way that, the body can then adjust to and harmonize with that emotion, with that state, with that frequency, in a way that allows us to no longer push against it. So it feels safe, right? It's like, oh, like, I can feel all of this and it's okay. I'm accepted. I'm held here. It allows the body to very deeply relax, because whether we're aware of it or not, when we've been repressing such deeply held emotional traumas, we're carrying it around with us all the time, and subconsciously it's controlling our life. Not so controlling with an iron grip, but to some degree is affecting the daily decisions that we make, how much energy we have, what our health is like, the extent to which we allow ourselves to feel and express.
Right.
And having space to let that part of our nervous system express itself, and then kind of neutralize, per se, and then, like you said, leave that in the space, and walk away feeling lighter. Like, incredibly lighter. It's so potent. It's magical. It's you can go to therapy for a long time, right? And not have that experience.
And I've gotten that reflection often after Sacred Rage, that years of therapy hasn't been as impactful as one safe space to just express all of it.
And you facilitate so well, right? Again, we have that opening circle and the expression of what's going on inside of us. That opening container, or that
and confidentiality is huge.
Confidentiality.
That nothing is shared outside of this.
You play music, and the music has always been like the most potent.
It's
part,
very potent.
Right?
And my last Sacred Rage I just did, my speaker ran out of battery.
Oh no!
So I had to do Sacred Rage with no music. And I'm happy to report it's just as potent.
Yes! yes,
Just as potent.
Yes. You did Sacred Rage at the Missouri Eclipse Festival recently. You made it so that it was outdoors, it was child friendly.
Yes.
Yeah, which, this is a lot of these practices, I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and say all of the practices that you do are relatively, you're like, oh, she's about to compliment me. I'm not.
Oh, no. Okay, just kidding. I welcome your truth.
It's a compliment. It's whatever you want it to be. They're taboo, right? They're like, they're pretty outside the norm.
Yes.
And a lot of them can be catered so that this, like, a similar, whether it's just practicing yeses and nos, or it's, emoting in a safe space, right? Like, they can be catered to be, appropriate for every age, helpful for every kind of person, right? Like, it's wonderful to have the opportunity for such intense extreme experiences, and my desire is to see more and more of these practices spread in ways that meet everyone where they're at. Right? Because they are so, I mean, in essence, right, they're all speaking, they're all allowing people to feel safe, free, loved, right? Accepted, aware of consciously aware, self-aware, and then aware of choice. So whatever kind of life you want to live, something more similar to kind of what we have going on here in the house, or very, very different. If creative self-expression and honesty and acceptance and embodiment, being present with one's body, being present in the moment, not only with the body but with emotions and thoughts. If those are things that call to someone, right, these are practices that can assist them on that path. They're not the only practices.
No.
And they are practices, even if someone doesn't want to be so, very sexually open and explorative, or whatever, right? Like, these are all, in essence, just ways to bring us back to ourselves.
Yeah. I love that, bringing us back to ourselves. And Star. Yeah. So Star is one of my favorite offerings. This will be the second year that I'm offering it. And it is a 4-day, 3-night immersion and intensive for feminine, for like female and feminine identified beings, where we drop into sexuality practices, we drop into erotic theater, we drop into shadow work, we drop into like some of these practices of like where our no's are, how to be heard, felt, and seen by a group of women, how to express through movement, through words, through creativity, through sensuality, through sexuality, our truth. And it's a beautiful weekend. We go deep, we play, we open up every morning with ecstatic dance. Eros theater is like one of my favorite practices, where we curate our authentic erotic archetype, and just like any archetype, there's a plethora. So leading us, like I lead us through practices to tap into that, like who is that erotic like flavor, who is that erotic character that feels alive in you, that feels that lights you up, that you want to embody that you want to, in this safe container, be witnessed by this beautiful group of women who are also tapping into their authentic erotic being, and bringing that to ceremony, bringing that to ritual, and expressing through dance, through music, through outfit, through dialogue. And that's just one. That's just like one of the rituals. Every night we do a deep ritual where there's expression. And I think last year I like cried every evening because the sacredness and the potency of a woman fully expressed, like giving full permission and being alive in her creative offering to the world. It brings me to my knees and brings tears to my eyes every time. And I desire that for all the women in the world. I desire for us to be able to be our full selves, to be able to be our full creative, empowered, heard, felt, seen self in our true authenticity. And yeah, I've seen like this immersion. I've seen people change. I've seen people go back out into their lives and create a life that is in more alignment with their true heart's desires. I've seen women like take their power back. I've seen women find the loves that and the partnerships that they've truly desired, and that were just like on the other side of fear and stories and holding back. I recently had a review come in from last year's Star, and they said the thing that they took away that is still alive in their life is they got to see how they got to feel bliss during the weekend. They got to feel bliss, and the practices that we went through has enabled them to continue that bliss. A year later, they're continuing that bliss in their life. And I cry at that. Like I cry when I read that, because what a beautiful gift to give yourself, and yeah, to do it in a group of women is edgy, is edgy and super powerful. So I'm doing it again this year. It's August 30th through September 2nd. It's a holiday weekend. Applications are open now. We have an amazing chef who cooks Ayurvedic food that's actually energetically supportive to the practices that we're doing every day, and local, organic. The food is absolutely amazing. I have I have a staff of emotional support people who are wonderful space holders, and I'm also calling in volunteers. There's volunteer spots available. And it's definitely one of my favorite offerings. I'm hoping to offer it every year. I think it's getting bigger every year. And it's definitely, it really is a weekend of, I've looked back over my life. I've looked back over this journey from unconscious sex, from leaving Christian culture, from my experience in kink to my experience and liberation in play parties and group orgies. And I've taken all of the practices, everything that I've learned from amazing teachers, that I know when I look back on my life, they impacted me. It's like this practice impacted me, and I carried forward into my life. This experience impacted me, and I carried it forward into my life, and it changed me. And I've I've taken a handful of those, but the most potent ones, and I put them all in a weekend.
Yeah.
Which was always my dream. I was like, I want this to be accessible. It took me 10 years, but I want this to be accessible. And so I'm offering it. And your mileage may vary. As Reed Mahalko says, your journey might be different, but I know if you come to this, it will be impactful. You know. Yeah.
And what other ways can people connect with you?
Yeah, you can go to my website, which is CaraLilly.com, and that's CaraLLY.com. And on there is the application for STAR. On there is how you can stay up to date with my offerings. If you want to come to a Sacred Rage, I mostly do them in St. Louis, but I am going to start traveling. So if anyone wants to host me around the world or the U.S., I'm happy to bring Sacred Rage or Lipsgiving or Star to your area. Yeah, and I'm also I'm planning on this year to do more online stuff so that it's also more accessible to people. But that will all be there.
Are you still doing your Substack?
I am. Yeah. I post infrequently, but
and what
there.
is it's the Wild Love
in Wild Love.
In Wild Love.
Yeah. Substack? I don't know how to
something
work.
like that. in Wild Love on Substack.
Yeah.
And Instagram at
The Wild Love Priestess. Yeah, that's where you can find me on Instagram. Yeah. And you can sign up for my newsletter on my website as well. But I think I post mostly on Instagram. It's a great place to get a hold of me. And Substack is where I share vulnerable things. Yeah.
It should be wildly apparent by now why you were like such a worthy first conversation.
This has been so delightful. So delightful. Yeah. Thank you for being such an amazing host. Thank you for being such an amazing roommate. Thanks for being vulnerable and being on this journey with me.
It's so good to drop in so deep so quickly. And it's been not so often over the past couple of months. And we're both so skilled at it.
We have worked hard.
Here we
go. Yes. I love going deep. I love it.
Yes. So this will go up on my Substack, as well as Spotify and maybe Apple Podcast. I tried to put it up there, and I don't know if it's actually up there, but I know it's on Spotify.
Great.
Naturally Rosy, Rosey. Same on Substack, and I'm on Instagram at the same handle, as well as X, Twitter, at Naturally Rosy. Yeah, and highly recommend all of CaraLilly for whatever calls to anyone about her, because she is, I mean, just genuinely, like, you are the most talented space holder I have ever met. So open and such a magnificent mirror. So loving.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sure we'll keep loving each other off of the recording.
Yes.
But
Always.
for now, we'll say goodbye to the audience. This is so exciting.
I didn't realize that you were doing a podcast without interviewees. Like, I haven't listened to your other episodes.
I have 6 episodes out that are just me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that.
Yeah.
And happy to be mixing it up. Yeah. And really happy that you're my first interview, conversation. Both of those words apply.
Yes.
Yeah. And we're here. I'm going to change it. Right now it's just Naturally Rosie on Spotify and Substack. But I'm going to change it to the Naturally Rosie podcast. So
I like it.
Change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're my first guest. So welcome to the Naturally Rosie podcast.